Welcome to the Penny Bloom Podcast. Ain't another place that has got more bombast. Romp past your mom, dad's listening to Tomcats, talking everything that make you sad. We don't want that. We're here to make you smile. Put your mind at ease. Peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Keanu Reeves. This what we about. This some weeding now. We'll talk until we can't no more, and then we peacing out. Alright, let's go. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome in to the Penny Bloom Podcast. This is Fire and Bloom, a House of the Dragon podcast. 10 out of 10 for now. Got the season finale of season 1, and I finished it, and I felt a bit empty afterwards, knowing that I would have to go a couple years without House of the Dragon again. I am Colton Robertson. I am joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here. But today is a bittersweet day.
It is bitter because House of the Dragon season 1 has concluded. We will not get it back for a while. Sweet, because we can get on to other Game of Thrones shit as our rewatch is about to begin. Now our rewatch begins.
Man. And I'm sorry for what happened to you before you saw this episode.
Yes, I had a great deal of it spoiled. Obviously, this episode leaked prior to its release actually being on TV. That, however, did not keep people from talking about it like it had already been on TV.
Mm-hmm.
And due to the fact that we do this podcast and I promote this podcast, I don't mute things relating to House of the Dragon. So there were, and this is obviously a spoiler-filled review. Just want to let everyone know up front. On a website where now you have the ability to flag spoilers, hide images. Ridiculous not to be doing that, especially when the episode isn't even technically released yet.
Even if it was, still, too.
I know that's
it's a season finale of a show.
Oh yeah, like I tweeted last night. There was someone who immediately took to Twitter. I was on Twitter at 9:10. Started the episode at 8 p.m. Finished it at 9:10. Vhagar kills Lucerys. And that was just the tweet.
Yeah. And
I was like, what the fuck? This is not how watching TV is supposed to work. But so that though, at least I can go, everyone's had a chance to watch it. I knew Vhagar killed Lucerys 3 days ago.
Damn. Really?
Yes, I knew Rhaenyra had a miscarriage. 2 days ago. I guess Saturday.
Oh, I guess okay, it is.
It's Monday now.
It is Monday. Okay. Fair.
2 days ago now, but I knew Vhagar killed Lucerys a couple days ago. And it is based off books, and I know the people who are tweeting about it like we've already seen it are people who are into the books, and I
guess it's kind of more of an update for them. It's kind of more of this just happened, whoa!
And it is really cool for those people to see how these things they've read about come to life on screen. And I will say, those people, a lot of them, or at least I think it's a very vocal minority, are livid with this finale.
Really?
They don't think it's good. And I just I don't know, man. I have a feeling everyone just likes to be mad about something. Because I'm just
literally, I'm pretty sure we guessed as to what was going to happen in this finale. And it was, it was set up for war, basically.
Mm-hmm.
It's all right, we're going to get ready to go. Something's going to happen that's going to make it go. It's exactly what we got. It's we're going to war.
Is that a lot of them are disappointed with the characterization here, and
multiple characters, or
on a couple, and on Rhaenyra and Daemon. which is interesting. You know, I think I don't think it should be that big of a surprise that the man who murdered his wife with a stone is actually not that good of a dude. But apparently, it's mischaracterizing him for him to be a dick in those moments when he chokes Rhaenyra and he doesn't go to her side when she's in her labors screaming and shit. However, it's just that, like, I don't know. If y'all are book readers, y'all are getting George R.R. Martin to tell you, I don't know, that you're not getting any ounce of emotional weight behind any of the shit you're reading in Fire and Blood. It's a list of events. I saw people calling the scene where Alicent held on to the page of the book from the first episode corny, some Disney ass shit. Nobody would give a fuck. And I was like, y'all are insufferable. Y'all don't like when little things are added into the show for nuance and emotional resonance. Like,
okay, wow. That's kind of, I guess, like, the thing is that Daemon is probably supposed to be way more of an insufferable character, but, like, Matt Smith has just played him in a way that has made him a little bit more likable.
Well, my thing is that, and like, I legitimately thought about it after I heard that like people were talking about how badly Daemon is portrayed in this finale again 2 days ago. So I was prepared for anything. There's really only one episode where he's a good dude, and it was episode 8. Like, don't get me wrong, he's been there. Like, he's been there, and he's shown flashes of potentially being a little bit more caring. But what we're really doing is projecting that onto him at any given moment. You know, like, his actions, for the most part, have steered us almost entirely in the direction that he's not a good guy.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why people are all of a sudden pissed that he's, oh, holy fuck, not a good guy.
I mean, I would, like, during, like, while watching, I was like, dude, go be with your wife. You know, it is weird to say that, you know, in general, but whatever, you know, for the show, I'm like, dude, go. And the dude's like, you know, are you going to go talk to the maester? You know, basically, you know, trying to beat around the bush, be like, dude, go to your wife. But, like, I was wanting him to, but in no way when he didn't was I like, oh man, now I hate the show because my writer, my boy, you know, that everyone's riding for, you know, he's obviously like
he's a fan favorite.
Yeah, I mean, come on, he's super cool, and his character actually is really good. Like, he has a great character arc. So I mean, I don't know, I'm not disappointed at all. Like,
I tend to view him not going to Rhaenyra's side as him not dealing with the fact that he has trauma relating to births recently. If he talks to the maester and he's like, you have to make a choice. I just don't think he wants to go through that again. I think that's kind of and it's selfish, you know, like, it's selfish as fuck to not be at your wife's side, but like, I don't think it's good, but I do think there's reasoning there, and I think that if you give it critical thought for half a second, you can get there, you know? At least
I didn't even think about, I was more thinking about he was just so pissed, and he was so war-strung.
I think it's a combination of that.
But, I mean, definitely, yeah, I mean, that, like, that's why I wish he would have shown, they would have shown him with his kids after, Lena's death.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, like, I guess that was a deleted scene for whatever reason, but, like, I don't know, I guess it would have, like, pulled more weight towards that side of the story.
Well, that's what's interesting, is because it was a deleted scene, that's one of the things people have latched onto as him being a good guy.
It's deleted for a reason.
It's deleted. It's not in the show. You know, yeah.
True.
Headcanon, sure, it happened, but you got to accept that that's all it is. It can't be anything more. It's headcanon.
Maybe they just needed a balancing act. Maybe they were like, all right, you know what? Damon's been way too cool. way too nice. We need him to just have a dick moment. You know, an obvious, like, take him down 5 notches, you know, like, he just worked himself up. Now we need to crash him back down. I don't know. And this was an easy way to do it. I mean, kind of got me to hate him a little bit again.
Oh yeah, I was
a
like,
little
man,
bit.
what
So
the fuck? It's like, I know you got a lot on your mind right now, but shit, chill the fuck out, dude. But are you ready for a scene-by-scene breakdown of season 1 finale, The Black Queen?
I don't know, but I think
we must.
There's never a better time than now.
So we kick it off, and to my surprise, Rhaenyra and the gang all made it back to Dragonstone prior to the arrival of Rhaenys. I always forget. I saw a map of Westeros very recently, and you see it in this episode. King's Landing and Dragonstone are really not that far apart. So I was thinking that Rhaenys would like beat them there, but she shows up. They've already been like chilling, for I don't know what the fuck anybody in Dragonstone is on to not know anything that's happening, but seemingly been acquainted for a little bit.
I guess, like, because of what? If Viserys died and a new king was being named, like, I guess this is like the day of, or like kind of like the next day, or is it the day of?
I think it's 2 days later. I think, but that
really
it wouldn't take Rhaenys. It wouldn't take Rhaenys 2 days later to get there. So I think we're dealing with a thing that's kind of timing wise a little iffy. Like Game of Thrones has had a habit of melding time to kind of.
Rhaenyra left after the dinner. I guess Viserys died that night. And then literally they did that all within a day. Oh, fuck. They literally did that all within a day. But she left that night.
Let's say, it only, regardless, we're dealing with a thing that, timing wise is a little iffy, but, we'll take it as it comes. Rhaenyra is finding Luke, very, very nervous about the potentiality of becoming the Lord of Driftmark. He's calls back to that. I think it was episode 7. Whenever Corlys came up and talked to him and was like, "You'll be Lord of the Tides," and he's like, "I don't want to be Lord of the Tides. If I'm Lord of the Tides, it means everyone else is dead."
Damn.
And given that I knew where Lucerys' story was going, his entire episode was just like, whew, man, yeah, like kicking it off with him and being here, like the way Rhaenyra approaches him and tries to console him by telling him, she was the same age as he was when she was named heir to the throne, and she wasn't ready either. She says she had to earn her inheritance, and he's like, "But I'm not like you. I'm not perfect." And I was like, spit.
You're right. Perfect. Yep, you're right.
You're right. Nobody's as good as Rhaenyra.
Man, I guess I don't know what I thought, what I thought the show I was watching was, but I just didn't think that they kill the kid. Like, in no way, like, you had it in your brain. You were like, "Oh, this dude's dead. Oh, fuck, man, that's even more sad." In my brain, I'm like, this dude has plot armor out the ass. He's a kid. No way they kill the kid. And then, like, because I'm expecting at the end there, like, okay, maybe one of the dragon dies, but, he catches Lucerys and they fly off together, whatever. They both live somehow, is how I'm expecting it, And then, like,
What's crazy is, even though I did get it spoiled, there was a point where he breaks through the clouds, he's in the sun, and I'm like, oh, maybe they were just fucking with me. And then no, not at all. But I was like, okay, man. Yeah, all right. But yeah, I was like, oh damn, and it just made all his scenes throughout this episode even more potent, because he did. But At least we think so, and I'm fairly certain that dragon came and chomped right about where he was sitting. I don't know that there's any way around that. But she goes ahead and gives him a little kiss on the head and assures him that she'll prepare him the way that her father prepared her, which means she will do next to nothing and just hold off until he's actually there.
Don't worry about it. I'm just gonna tell you a secret later on someday, maybe. You won't hear it ever now, and then that'll basically be it. And then you'll be ready.
Ready now. But yeah, I was like, that was interesting. You know, I don't think Rhaenyra was exactly prepared at all by her father, and I think it was something that she
I guess might as well play up the idea of their grandfather, as much as she can. But he was a king, and they're have the chance to be, so like they all got to be perfect,
That's true. But they're interrupted as the Princess Rhaenys Targaryen has arrived, and she has requested an audience with Rhaenyra and Daemon, and she walks on up. Rhaenyra's like, "Oh, cousin, what a pleasure it is. Hello." Viserys is dead. Okay, bedside manner match. And
right
she,
to it.
Yeah, I was all right. She says that awfully blunt, and she's like, "I'm very sorry. He was a great man and a great king, and he will be missed. This hurts me as well. But Aegon has been crowned as his successor." And Daemon's like, "All right, so they killed my brother and usurped the throne." And I was like, okay, Daemon. He's seeing red this episode.
Oh, yeah.
After this point, he's like, all right, I'm ready to murder some high towers if I can.
Is it a legitimate thing? Like, if you tell someone who is pregnant some very, very shocking news, that it is like actually like dangerous. I think like it's legit. Like, I think it's legitimate for anyone, really. Like, yeah, that's why like people say like you need to sit down because in case you pass out and crack your head on the floor off this new, like I think like I don't know because
I could definitely see it.
Because she immediately like ooh, like I mean it was instant. Viserys is dead and bam. So that's why I'm wondering, like, say Rhaenys is a little more, bedside mannerful. Maybe she is like, you know what, Rhaenyra, like, come here real quick, like, sit down, like, your father passed, like, I'm sorry. Like, it just was a little more, like, I don't know. What?
Out of nowhere, completely shocking. Yeah, I could.
There's also then she isn't emotionally distraught after losing a baby, and she is still healthy. Like I don't know. Like I think
that Rhaenys still being of the mind that Rhaenyra and Daemon had heavy influence on her son's death. Makes her pretty much care not what happens to Rhaenyra's kids.
And who's to say where Rhaenys' loyalty really is? Like
at this point in the episode, yeah,
really, the whole time, kinda. She's like,
you think so? I think she came around.
She did, but like I think it's at any I don't know, at any time. I don't know. She's kind of.
You feel like she could.
I feel like she is the one pulling the strings, and she knows that. She's the one that is keeping the realm together. She's the one that sent Corlys in that room to go talk to everyone. She's the one that is talking to Rhaenyra, making her do like these things. Like Rhaenys is the queen right now, and she knows this. And I think I don't know. I think that's why it's not really. She doesn't have a side really. She's not on anyone's side. She is the crown, almost. Like
interesting. No, I had a different perspective of Rhaenys throughout this episode. I was concerned throughout the episode as she didn't kneel, she didn't bow, she didn't do anything the whole time. But I did not recall that the reason is because she doesn't get to decide that sort of thing for her house if Corlys is alive.
Oh.
So she waits to talk to Corlys before she declares for either side. And when she talks to Corlys, that's when he comes out, tells Rhaenyra they're for her. And she's like, Rhaenyra looks back. Rhaenys, like, the thing is that Rhaenys seemed so genuine the rest of the episode. The way she like smiled when Rhaenyra looked at her, and like the way the music swelled and stuff. There were just so many things that made me think, like, I think she is for sure on Rhaenyra's side. Now, I do think that, like, maybe that could change, you know, but I feel pretty good about Rhaenys' position alongside Rhaenyra right now.
Yeah, that's I didn't even think about that at all, about her like not being able to make the decision for her house. But that makes like way more sense.
Well, and I didn't even think about it until she talked to Corlys about it, and then they were down, because throughout the episode I was like, what's gonna happen there? You know, like she kept talking about how it's not her war and stuff. It wasn't her war to start, and so I was like,
because I thought they were trying to build feud. Because I mean, Daemon is like, you had the chance to burn all of them and you didn't do anything, you know, and like, I mean, he's pissed.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
I mean,
he's having a rough time, a rough go of it this week. But yeah, Rhaenyra, upon hearing the news that Aegon's been crowned as the successor and such, she immediately grips her belly, and her eyes fill with tears, and she groans in pain. And Rhaenys continues, "The Greens are coming for you, Rhaenyra, and for your children. You should leave Dragonstone at once." And yeah, and she immediately walks out. Like, she delivers the news and she leaves. And it's like, she's like, I haven't really decided where I'm at. You know, I fucked with Viserys, so I was gonna come tell you about that. You're his kid, so that's just want to let you know. And it doesn't seem likely that she will stay out of the cards for long, as we see later. But Rhaenyra's pains continue to get worse, and she reaches under her skirt and finds blood. The baby is coming, and I was like, fuck, because this was another thing that I had spoiled for me. Frankly, though, this one I'm a little more okay being prepared for.
I would have liked to actually had this one spoiled. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I was because I can tell you for sure, if I hadn't, I think I would have been like, and frankly, you know, I like when shows hit me emotionally. I don't like when they make me straight up fucking like sob. And I think that's kind of the road I was traveling down if I didn't know this was coming.
It was like, it's like 50% you're crying because obviously, and then the other 50% is your mouth is just wide open. You can't believe that you're watching what is happening on screen.
It was extremely plain to see, very, very, very there for you to look at. And you know what? I respect the boldness of this cast and crew to go,
whoa.
You know, yeah. You know, I'd seen images like this in freshman year health class, and that was it. You know,
in
so
a clean, clinical, comfortable. Yeah, well, not really comfortable, I guess, but you know, as comfortable as you can get, maybe. Yeah. But yeah, wow.
Whew.
But
nevertheless, you know, the Maester is there like, it's way too fucking early for the birth. Not really sure what's going on here. And Rhaenyra walks up and goes, "Fuck yourself." Like, I'm having this fucking baby right now. And she's just walking around. She's in her birthing cloak, and she summons her two eldest sons to her side, who are off training And I have a feeling Jacaerys is going to regret that this is one of the last interactions he has with Luke.
No! Man, I didn't think about these things until now. Because I didn't know
I was thinking about it the whole fucking time.
Man!
Like, oh, damn, it really sucks that Jacaerys was just like beating the shit out of him out there. Like, you gotta be clean. You gotta win. Win. He was going full Breakfast Club on him.
Wow, that sucks. That sucks.
Yeah, it does. And then, I mean, Jacaerys volunteers them for the mission that they go on and stuff. It's like, whew. Jacaerys is going to have a rough time coping, I have the feeling.
You know, actually, to be fair, whenever he volunteered themselves, I'm like, yo, all of you just, we're talking about how you had the advantage of dragons. You had the numbers. You had the dragons. And now you're immediately getting rid of 3 of them. Although some of them are small, they're still dragons. And if an army shows up, that one small dragon can Dracarys all of them. Like, it doesn't really matter. So, I don't know, that was kind of a bold play call right there. I don't know.
I feel like it almost would have been smarter, and, maybe not. Maybe it actually puts a couple dragons at risk, but what if they went together to all these places?
Yeah, or, not just send a 12-year-old kid. They think, okay, the dragon will scare them, sure, yeah. But then, he's coming with the word of the queen that no one accepts, and they know that. And they know that this kid is not legitimate. So, and they're sending their dragon away. None of these red flags, popped up, I don't know. That was a little iffy to me. But I guess, war has to start somehow. So, mistakes were made.
How better than accidentally? Nevertheless, she summons her sons to her side, and they're like, where's Daemon? Fuck's going on here? What's he doing? And she says that he's gone to madness, gone to plot his war. His war, which I thought was very, very important phrasing. She's like, I will avoid this if I can, but he's insistent on going ahead and starting that shit. She then demands that Jacaerys, as her next in line, makes sure that no action is taken while she is indisposed. And he's like, as you wish, mother. I am on it. And Daemon brings the boy out as he gives 2 Kingsguard knights an ultimatum. Be sure that their loyalty, reclaim their loyalty to Rhaenyra. And Caraxes goes on and walks on up, that long neck ass boy.
So, does Daemon go up to Caraxes?
Caraxes.
Caraxes or Caraxes? Caraxes. Does Daemon go up to Caraxes beforehand and is like, all right, yo, wait about a minute and 35 seconds and then come up and all scary or is it they have a mind connection thing,
The dragon's dramatic entrances are always funny because they imply that, that the dragons have dramatic timing. That they're like, oh, I know exactly when I'm going to enter the scene. It's like that scene in Game of Thrones season 8 where it's all dark, and then Daenerys is Daenerys starts talking to Viserys, and Drogon just his head starts coming out of the fucking shadow
I mean, okay, I believe it. Dragons seem like they're divas, in real,
yeah, a little bit,
on the real, in Rick and Morty, they're all actually crazy whenever they get down to it.
Well,
Yeah, I
there
mean, they
is some
speak a
sort of
language,
tie
you
to
know?
their riders, the, like, emotion-wise, like, they feel the emotions of their riders, so it's like,
Oh, true.
I don't
Like,
know
if
that
one
that
is in, like,
necessarily.
panic, then they have to protect. You know, they feel
Yeah.
like they feel that. That's true. Okay.
And we see a very good example of that later on in the episode when the riders lose control of their dragons. But no, yeah, I have the feeling that he went up to Caraxes and was like, "Hey, man, just a second. I need you to come over this hill and really, really let them know.
Mm.
Just really yell at them.
After I say this word, that's your cue. You know,
That's your
like
cue."
come in right then.
Caraxes is just like waiting behind the hill, like with his ear to the side of
He
it,
has
just like
super long ass neck. He could be all the way down at the base of the mountain in here.
for real. But it's at that moment that Rhaenyra, who has refused any help from her attendants, has the child right there, right then, stillborn. And, we cut the screamings of her labor with Syrax also screaming, again, another example of the emotions of the rider and the dragon being felt at the same time. We also intercut this with the war table, where Daemon is, ignoring screams that are coming from the room. And yeah, it sucked. It sucked when this baby was born. They showed the still arm and leg and stuff. I believe the umbilical cord was wrapped around the kid's neck. Is that what I saw? Did I see that right?
I did not notice that. I was too. No way was I going to notice that during the first watch.
Yeah,
I was too.
Yeah,
was out of it.
I get it.
But
I do.
damn, if that is the case too.
Yeah, it was just like whew. But she cradles the baby and sits there and rocks with him for a while.
It was. Oh, it was. Wow.
Yeah, that's some devastating shit right there. But doesn't take long for them to go, you know what? All right, we got shit to do. Let's wrap this baby up in the tradition of our house, and we'll gather on the cliffside for a funeral pyre for my baby. And so now, within, I don't know, say 6 years, she's lost the father of her children. She has lost her father. She has lost a child. And here in a moment, she will lose another. If that's not descent into madness worthy, I don't know what is. Daenerys, after losing everybody around her, slowly cascaded, not so slowly cascaded, rather abruptly cascaded, but nevertheless,
I think it takes one Dracarys,
Yeah.
Whenever whoever she burns first, whoever gets it first, someone's getting it. I don't know who it is, but someone's gonna get it. And I hope the first blow comes actually from Rhaenyra.
I would love. Well, now it's
not the first. It's not the first blow.
Really. Now she's fighting back, which
true.
Kind of grants her a lot of leeway after the death of her son.
I don't know. It is interesting because, is this really an act of war? Because truly, what happened is just two dragons went at it. At the consequence of them, though. Yeah, I guess without Aemon and Lucerys getting in that situation, they don't do that.
I think it also doesn't matter if Aemon goes, I didn't mean to. I think that
I didn't mean to kill your kid.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. My dragon just got carried away. accidentally
exactly.
chopped him. Oh.
Yeah. I lost, and that's the thing too, is that Aemon's also really proud. I don't think he'll admit he lost control of Vagar. I think he will gladly, well, not gladly, but I believe he'll go back and be like, yeah, I did that shit.
You're right. He's already calling him a bastard and like everything right
Lord
off rip.
Strong.
Yeah, so like
Straight up called him Lord Strong this episode. Didn't even.
Yeah.
In front of the Baratheons, the motherfucker who can't read.
In their eyes, he's the crown. They're the crown.
Yeah.
Like that's no longer treason. Well, I guess depending on who you ask.
But depends on who you ask what treason is. But yeah, this immense low point for Rhaenyra turns into a rather triumphant moment, as this is where Sir Eric Cargill finds them. Real one.
Is he Eric. the new one that we can ride for right now? He feels pretty true. But fuck, I swear to fuck.
No, this guy's cool. I'm gonna tell you for sure this guy is cool. What does suck though is that we've got the classic brother versus brother on opposite sides of the Civil War.
Which Eric makes it out alive.
I don't think
the Y or the I. What is it? How is that the difference in their names? One's with a Y and
one's with an A and one's with an E. An Eric.
Oh, the
very first letter.
Wait, ARIC?
No,
or ARY.
RRYK and ARRYK.
George R. R. Martin is something, man. How does he do
it? Eric. No, yeah, but I don't think either of them lives. I think that I think we get a full like stepbrothers when they swing the clubs at each other.
They kill each other.
Yeah, at the same time.
If they actually do that, that's nuts. That's beautiful.
It would be, but this moment was strong because what I hadn't thought about, this moment was in promos and stuff for the next on House of the Dragon. I for some reason it just didn't hit me that this was Viserys' crown. That he stole that shit before he left. Which is this man was doing it for the blacks, bro. Like whenever he went, he was the one who went and got Rhaenys, ushered her out, got her out. He fucking at some point was like, all right, now I'm gonna go get Viserys' crown. This man's a badass. Who is this man?
Do you think that's why they went with the Conqueror's crown? Because they were like, where the fuck is Viserys' crown?
No, I think that was more symbolism. I think that was
or like they actually.
I think you think
if they had both of them, if they had both crowns there, that they still would have gone with it. I mean, they gave him the Conqueror's sword. They gave him they gave him
Conqueror's name. They gave him Conqueror's crown. I think they were going with the Conqueror no matter what. So I don't think it made it incredibly well guarded for Viserys' crown. But nevertheless, doesn't change the fact that it was a dead king's crown that he had to steal and make it out of the kingdom with. Pretty badass shit. But he walks right up to Rhaenyra, the way everyone gets their swords out like, all right, what the fuck's this guy on? He kneels and presents the crown. I was like, oh, fuck yeah. Daemon takes it, places it upon her head as everyone swears fealty to her. Everyone follows suit, kneeling before Rhaenyra, with a notable exception in Rhaenys in the very back. What I also liked about that is that Rhaenyra doesn't. She never questions it either.
What questions? What?
Rhaenys
not kneeling,
not bowing. She's just kind of like noted.
I guess she literally I guess it makes sense. Like that's literally just how things are carried out in that world. Like it's like I can't yet. I think it's like I don't know.
I also don't know that she decided that she wanted to yet. I do think there's I do think this episode sways Rhaenys to Rhaenyra's side. I think that if Rhaenyra had been like, fuck yeah, baby, let's go to war. She would have been like, Corlys, we need to head back to the tides and just avoid all this shit. It was the fact that Rhaenyra was trying to keep it peaceful and try not to lead. She was like, when she tells Corlys, she's the only one thinking with a rational mind right now. Which is crazy considering she's the last person who should be thinking with a rational mind, given her father just died, her kid just died, within a day of each other. And then another kid will die later on, but, we see that one's kind of the straw that breaks the camel's back. She's not, she looks like Daenerys when Missandei got her head cut off in season 8, episode 4, and she turned around and was like, like she
the dragon came out.
The dragon woke up, bro. The
Yep.
dragon woke up. But Rhaenyra, quickly, makes her grief stuffed down. She goes ahead and puts that shit aside. She's got things to do. Makes her way to the chamber of the painted table. Apparently that's what this thing is called. To strategize.
Yeah, the candles underneath lighting it all up. Sick as fuck.
Oh my fucking god, that was so cool. That was so cool. And oh god, it was so fucking awesome. But they discuss which houses are likely to support them and which are likely to side with Alicent. And Daemon gets all hopped up as he points out that Rhaenyra's team have far more dragons at their disposal than the Hightowers. He rattles off Caraxes, Syrax, Arax. He rattles off all of their families, and then he goes, Meleys, which is Rhaenys's dragon, and Rhaenys goes, like she's like,
watch it.
Don't just volunteer me for shit. I haven't agreed to that yet. And it is funny though to see Daemon just go, yeah, you're on our fucking side. There's no way you're not now. Like, you have to.
I gotta write all these dragons like names down. We gotta get like, I don't know, the current state of the war. We gotta get like who's on what side.
Let's see.
We got Syrax, Caraxes, Meleys. Well, I guess we can say Meleys now, right?
Yeah, now we can. At the time that he said it, I don't think so. But at the end of this episode, I think we're good.
Your sons have Vermax, Arax, and Traxes. Vermax. Wait. Which
Arax
one? So Arax was okay. That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah,
and Traxes.
Yeah, Caraxes. They're trying to get Vermithor.
Yeah, Baela has Moon Dancer.
Sea Smoke is a free agent right now down at Driftmark.
Free agent. Yes, we gotta have. Okay, you're right. We gotta have the free agents. Okay, so on the Rhaenyra side, Syrax. What's the S? The difference between Caraxes is that, but with the S-Y, is that Syrax or Syrax?
Syrax.
Okay.
And that's Rhaenyra's. But yeah, I think one of Daemon's daughters is gonna get Sea Smoke.
Okay.
I think that's kind of where my money's at. I think it'll be cool if she gets her uncle's dragon.
Yeah, and it's at Driftmark too.
It's at Driftmark.
So Sea Smoke still resides on Driftmark. Vermithor and Silverwing dwell on the Dragonmont. He was a stud. I mean, he knows his stuff. He's a
Ganado.
Yeah, he's the stereotypical Thrones fan, the Targaryen bandwagoner,
Yeah. He's like, I know exactly where all the dragons are right now, dude.
Yeah. I know that Sea Smoke's on Driftmark and Vermithor and Silverwing are on Dragonmont.
I know that in the Dragonmont, that's where Vermithor is, because that's what it said in the books.
Yeah, I read that.
I read that somewhere, I think. But I love
Ooh.
the idea that these dragons, if they're not being like rode, they just kind of bool
Yeah.
wherever they
All
are
right,
supposed
chill
to.
here. I'm old as fuck. I'm just like, fuck. If no one has to, if I don't have to do anything, man, I'd rather just lay
I'd
down.
rather just lay here, man. Yeah, there's a lot of dragons on all sides, but 13-4, if I remember correctly, it ends up being the final head count.
Hmm. 13-4.
And that's if they can get all the free agent dragons on their
And
side.
is he counting his 3 eggs?
Oh, I don't think he is. I think he's like 13-4, and we have 3 eggs cooking.
Wait, because 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 on their side and 3 unclaimed is 9. Yeah, he's counting his. He said 12.
I for some reason I remember him saying 13 to their 4.
13. Wait. Oh, I'm not counting
Arax,
Lucerys yeah, I'm not counting his dragons. I already took it out. So yeah, so he is counting his eggs.
Okay, cool. I mean,
Interesting.
so he does not have those 3 dragons because I don't think they'll be born for some time.
True.
But nevertheless, everything comes to a halt when Otto Hightower arrives, bearing a message from Alicent that is intended only for Rhaenyra.
Oh, I love how on site it was though. The guy was like, they come bearing the banner of a green 3-headed dragon, and Damon was like, all right, get up or get ready, get to your position. Someone get up in the sky. Let's get fucking going. It's happening.
Yeah, and I mean the fact that we've met on this very bridge before with this very party being led by Damon and Otto back in episode fucking 2 or something like that, which is nuts. 8 weeks ago now, but
Damn.
Yeah, he asks, "Where is the princess?" And Rhaenyra chooses that very moment to go ahead and swoop in on Syrax. Again, very much so mirroring the how she did it in episode 2. And I do think you were right in episode 2 weeks back when you were like, didn't the landing seem a little shaky? Because this shit went smooth as fuck.
Right? I think I did notice something there a little bit because I whenever she did land this time, I did in my I was like, all right, that was smooth as fuck, and I was like, man, I don't know, it did kind of remember back to the first one.
Yeah, I think it does call to the fact that she is a much more matured dragon rider as of now, because she just plops right down on this tiny bridge with Syrax, who has grown.
She shows off too.
Yeah,
does a little fly around, a little showing off, and then bah. So I mean, yeah, it was it was sick.
it was so fucking cool. And Otto offers her Dragonstone. This is what we are willing to give you. This is what Aegon and all his wisdom is willing to give you. Yes, the 15-year-old raper. This is all his wisdom grants you. Dragonstone. Your son's taken care of. Everyone will get their own little part of the kingdom, and that is only if you swear loyalty to Aegon. Every symbol of legitimacy belongs to him, Otto says, adding that House Stark, Tully, and Baratheon will side with Aegon. And her and Damon look at each other like, nah, I don't think that's the case.
Whoa, I thought it was more of a look of like, oh fuck, like have they already talked to them? Like, do they already have them on their side?
No, I don't think that's the case. We will not be swearing loyalty today. But yeah, that part, they were kind of like, oh shit, yeah, we ought to get on that then. If they've already been presented with terms, we gotta get on that. And she walks on up to him, rips his hand of the kingpin from his lapel, and tosses it over the side of the bridge. And Otto is like, all right, damn man, now I just gotta go get another fucking pin.
That's gonna make me another one. Damn.
Massive inconvenience, bro. This one has been in the fucking kingdom for centuries.
Yeah, damn, that sucks. Now it's just in the bottom of a river. It's just whatever. All right.
God damn, man, that really blows. But instead, he hands Rhaenyra a personal note from Alicent. A page from one of the books they used to read together when they were kids. A page specifically that Rhaenyra ripped out because she knew it so well, and handed to Alicent as something, and says something about how she has not forgot their love. Oh, dude.
Is this truly coming from Alicent? I really want to believe it. Like, there's no way that Otto just knows about this and is like doing this himself, to like conflict Rhaenyra's mind.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I think it is a little bit of a dirty move.
Because I don't know, because Alicent's like kinda in a weird state right now. She's kind of like not herself. Like, she's not conniving right now. I guess she would be loving. She would actually send this,
I think she would send this, and I don't think it's so manipulative as much as it is like, please consider this. Like, remember what we once shared. We can share that again. We don't need to take it to all this. Please consider it at the very least. I think she knows that Rhaenyra would never bend the knee, but if she tried her best to show her that she still remembers the love that they share, that maybe she'll consider it. It's like the only thing that might sway her, but I think it was a shot in the dark just to kind of try, and I don't think it obviously doesn't succeed, but Daemon's like, well, fuck all this. Everybody get your fucking swords out.
Oh, there's the line. There's the line of the episode, right there. I just got to it. It was Otto says Queen Alicent eagerly awaits her answer, and then Daemon says, "Well, she can have her answer now, stuffed in her father's mouth, along with his withered cock." So there we go. There's the line of the episode,
dude. And there were so many F-bombs dropped this episode, which was just outstanding. I love for some reason, they don't throw out a lot of fucks. I feel like, at least not in succession. It's usually like they sparsely drop them in, but I felt like there was like 3 scenes in a row where they were just like fuck.
They did go off. Yeah, they did go off this episode. You're right.
And I really, really liked it because I always think, people like to say that using curse words is like a detriment to writing because it's if you can try to articulate what the characters are feeling without resorting to curse words, you're probably better off. But I tend to disagree.
Like it's easier.
Oh, it's easier, and it's also there's simply. In certain moments, there are no better words than fuck.
Yeah.
There just aren't, because like it's an all-encompassing term that if you are passionate enough, there is no other word that can accomplish what fuck does.
You stub your toe super hard, one word comes to your brain.
Fuck.
Instantly. Like, no. I don't know. It's not, I don't think it's.
And this episode was just one giant toe stub for the Blacks. But
yeah, no, it's kind of like I don't know. I don't want to say boomer-ish to be like, oh, curse words are, you don't need them. You shouldn't resort to using them.
It's an old idea. It's an old idea for sure.
I mean, as long as it's not just literally every other word, like it can get annoying. That's for sure.
Yeah, like Wolf of Wall Street's fucks.
True.
All 250 of them or something like that.
Damn.
But the message did what it was supposed to do for Rhaenyra. She begins to tear up and she orders everyone to stand down. And she tells Otto that King's Landing will have her answer soon. And she turns and walks away. And before Sirax flew away, I looked at Emily and made a joke. I was like, they're like, well, we can't exactly go the way we came. There's there's a big ass fucking dragon over there. Any chance we can get a ride or something? But then she flew away, and I was like, okay.
At the beginning of this, I actually said, I'm like, okay, no way Otto makes it out of this one alive. Like, at the beginning,
for him to die.
I was like, I'm like, all right, him and Damon had their first confrontation. You made it out of that one. Insane that no one died there, you know. And
more insane that no one died here.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, all right, someone has to go here. And I couldn't believe it.
But I do think that because no one died here, we have Rhaenys and Corlys and their fleet on the side of Rhaenyra. Thankfully. But
true.
Because if
she does just go all out, you're right. Fair enough.
Yeah, but Daemon's not too excited about Rhaenyra having a level head. He wants war. He wants blood spilled over the outrage that has occurred. And Rhaenyra points out that when dragons are used in war, everything burns. She has no interest in being ruler of the ashes. And,
heard that one before.
Yes, we have indeed. And the idea that Rhaenyra is even considering taking Otto's deal makes Daemon pissed. He yells at her in front of everyone about how she needs to act and not stand aside. But I love after Rhaenyra tells them to clear the room that Rhaenys is like,
yeah, she's the last one to walk out, and she just looks at her like, "You tell him."
This. Yeah,
you tell him. You tell him. Yeah, like you know what you're doing. Yeah, that is. I mean, come on. Like, yeah, like I'm the queen now. Like, you gotta, like, I don't know. I think I literally like kind of was like guessing what Rhaenyra was about to. You know, we were kind of going back and forth of what we thought Rhaenyra was going to tell him. You know, right there, and we were like, "Yeah, I'm the queen now, bitch. You can't talk to me like that in front of everybody." You know, like we were like trying to guess. I don't know. Like on
like this scene was so good because it's kind of a mirror of the scene Viserys had with Rhaenyra in the first episode when he tells her about the Song of Ice and Fire. Because Viserys, when he tells Rhaenyra, is like, the idea that we control the dragons is an illusion. You know, they are a force that men should never have fucked with. Like, we should not have ever done that. And Daemon is like, dreams didn't make us kings, dragons did. So there's a mirror between the brothers there. But she tells him about the Song of Ice and Fire, which really, really pisses Daemon off. Now, do we think that this is because she had insight into something about his brother that he did not? That Viserys was willing to keep a secret from him for... Because, like, frankly, I understand that Daemon's mad and that he's seeing red. You gotta, like, I need, like, a fucking reason.
I feel like maybe because, like, in the blade itself, when you heat it up, it says a Song of Ice and Fire, right? Or like, it will be blah blah blah. It says the little prophecy.
Yeah.
So like, I'd say like maybe Daemon has seen that before. Like, he can read Old Valyrian, like whatever. So like maybe he's seen that, but Viserys has never explained what that means. You know, he's like, I'm sorry, I can't tell you. And that's Daemon's way of being like, he was always obsessed with his prophecies and blah blah blah. It doesn't matter. And then Rhaenyra, you know, she's like, "Oh, he didn't tell you this one, huh?" And then he walks away. You know, so I think it's really just Viserys did not tell Daemon because it truly has to be an heir thing. I think like it has to be passed down. Like I think whether it has to. Viserys at least believes in that it has to be passed down.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, and like that's the thing is that like I have no issue believing that. My issue comes from the fact that he chokes her for a couple of seconds, and like, I don't know that it's all that big a deal, homie. How about you chill the fuck out a little bit, all right?
I guess, yeah, and the stakes are also really high right now. I'm not trying to defend him in any way.
No.
I'm just saying,
Yeah,
like,
it is something that happened in a TV show, and in this TV show, we like to try and find reasons for the things that happen.
I think it would be interesting though if he does know something more that like he knows. I don't know, because he knows so much about dragons. Like, I don't know. I don't think the normal person knows this much about dragons and where they all rest and all the unclaimed. I don't know. Is it like common knowledge, all of this, to everybody? Is that like to be assumed, or like is it? I don't know. Like, he does know, I feel, more than the average person, like way more than the average person.
I think so.
Um,
Yeah, but regardless, though, Damon doesn't take kindly to this. But it is a moment that I think Damon realizes that the prophecy is going to be a guiding principle for Rhaenyra's assumed reign. What she would like to do, the prophecy will be something that it's built upon. But we cut from this rather unhappy moment to one of the brighter moments of the episode, with Corlys being alive and doing better.
Good to
but
see.
Rhaenys, I liked seeing Steve Toussaint back, especially healthy-ish mostly. And but Rhaenys is pissed at him. This is the first time she's seen him in like 6 years, or something like that. And she gets all the bad news out of the way. King's dead. Your brother's dead. We're doing a lot of shit here. Sorry and shit. And Corlys jests at the idea of Vaemon dying because he's like, "Yep, that sounds exactly like a Valyrian." He's like, "That is definitely some shit we would do." That's a damn shame. But he says, "Our pursuit of the Iron Throne is at an end," and I was like, "Oh, one character who gets character development over the course of the season and completely just finally gets where he needed to go."
Yeah,
because this is something you've been waiting for Corlys to just finally. All right, let's just
go get away from all this. Let's be with our grandchildren.
And then on the flip side, Rhaenys having the development that we've wanted for her all season.
Yeah, flipped, bam!
I was like, fuck yes, this is exactly what we needed. And he decides that their pursuit is at an end, adding that they'll declare for no one. We'll head back to Driftmark and we'll just hang out. And
yes. Also, it could be Corlys just being like, I might die, and I'd rather be comfy at home with my grandchildren and not at war. So, I mean, like, I guess he had that kind of going, but I feel like he truly had the development as well. Of like,
I think he did. And it's like it's the development that only years of getting beat the fuck down can make you realize. His brother's dead, his children are dead. Like, it's too late for him to come to this realization.
He's
but
like,
I'm glad he did. It was long overdue for him to come here. And Rhaenys makes it clear to him that their grandsons, Jacaerys, Lucerys, and Joffrey, will never be safe as long as Aegon is king. And he raises the eyebrow, like, yeah, where are you going with this, honey? And she goes, and frankly, I'm really, really digging the fact that Rhaenyra is the only one who's not descending this place into war. She's holding the realm together right now. And frankly, today has made me realize exactly what side we should be on. And this scene is immediately followed by, again, one of my favorite scenes in the episode, where Lord Corlys and her improve enough to make it to the Chamber of the Painted Table. where he they discuss for a few moments what actions are to be taken, and he decides finally that they are to pledge loyalty to Rhaenyra. She will have access to the Valyrian fleet at her side. And she looks at Corlys in this moment after he says this, and then she looks right at Rhaenys going, yeah, I know that was you. Like, thank you for that. And I we just don't see Rhaenyra and these characters happy a lot. And in this moment where they did declare for her, she gets like tears in her eyes. She's getting support from her cousin for the first time basically ever. And it's like, okay, yeah. And like support from a woman who probably should have been a little bit more, I don't know, supportive of her over the years, but had been seemingly absent. So I think it was like, oh, finally I have the support of this woman who I've actually looked up to for a very long time. And
I guess her actual mom was her dad's cousin, so Rhaenys being Viserys' cousin as well, right? Are they cousins or?
I think there's there's a couple branches there. I don't know that they're necessarily sisters or anything, but because
I'm just saying it's like it's kind of like a weird mother figure again.
Oh yeah,
like it's weird that it lines up that it's like also Viserys' cousin, which makes that I don't know what to second cousin. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
how
still
the fuck cousins work.
Fuck.
But no, this was a I don't know. Seeing how the Hightowers took over the crown and how hostile and how it was like get everyone in the throne room, swear fealty or die. And then seeing it done like kind of the way you want to see it be done on the flip side. And it's like so beautiful and it's like, oh yes, no, this is like the side of the war I want to get behind, if I'm going to get on one. So
another great moment in this scene though is whenever, Corlys is like, all right, cool. Now that that's out of the way. The war has actually benefited us these last 6 years quite immensely. We now control the Stepstones and therein access to the Narrow Sea. I can
actually
cut off.
A badass.
He's like, oh, by the way, like the fact that this is like massive. He's like, I have the means to lay siege to King's Landing.
I can starve everyone.
Yeah,
not even just starve them. Anything they need.
I mean, up to you though.
I don't know if you want that. I mean, I have that ability now.
He's like, yeah, we control the Narrow Sea. We can blockade. King's Landing. We can get this shit rolling. And Rhaenyra's like, and the way the music swells, and Rhaenyra's like, yeah, okay, we might be able to do this after all. Like we got the real after school special kind of vibe going on here. And still, though, Rhaenyra isn't running headfirst into a fight of any sort. She says, taking caution does not mean standing fast. She does not aim to wait. She intends to be at the ready. And she says she means to know who her allies are before she sends them to war. They're like, we'll be sending ravens before long, and hopefully they decide that they're with us. And Jacaerys volunteers for them. They need dragons to bring the messages. They'll be a little bit more convincing. So I think that's what we should do. Send us. And I was like, huh.
Let's see. I guess we only saw Lucerys go off, right? We didn't see the other two at all.
Not for the rest of the episode. We do see them all leave, though.
Yeah, we see him leave, but we don't. Okay. And is Bela the one that's? Is that
no? That's
who?
Rhaenys.
Wait, Rhaenys went?
Yeah, because she volunteered to. I
thought it was just the 3 kids. Three kids, or 4. I thought it was. Wait. Who left? Okay, so Lucerys obviously left, did his thing. We saw what happened to him.
Cyrus went north to Winterfell, and Rhaenys was planning to begin that blockade of King's Landing.
I thought they had one more message or one more, one more place that they were going to pledge fealty or whatever, or like to
House
see
Tully.
for.
But I don't know that they ended up sending anyone there, because I know for sure that the 3 people we see leave are Jace, Luke, and Rhaenys.
Oh, okay. I did not. I guess I didn't pick up on. I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm interested now.
So
though.
none of the Valarian kids went. Then.
No, I don't think any of them have left yet.
Okay.
But
Prince Lucerys will fight to Storm's End and Tree. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. No. You're right.
all right, cool. I was like, I'm interested now. I want to see. I'm rewatching this little part of the episode right now so that I can see for sure.
Very well. Prince Lucerys will fly north.
Yeah,
first to the Eyrie to see my mother's cousin and the lady Jane
Rhaenys
Eyre.
is going to steal the gullet. She's going to patrol the gullet with Meleys. That's where she's heading right now. So maybe we do pick up with Baela or Rhaena heading to the Tullys. That would make sense as well. But I think someone needs to head out there. So like I think it only
it's
makes
Baela
sense.
and who? Baela and
Rhaena. Her
Rhaena.
sister.
And Baela's the one with.
Who has the one with the dragon? I think
Moon Dancer. Is that hers?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
I believe so. Yeah, I can never remember, but
okay.
it just
all
haven't
the kids'
been nearly
names
prominent enough. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, Rhaenyra then makes her kids swear that they are traveling as messengers, not warriors. They're to not fight. They're to get the messages there and leave. And she has a nice little moment with them before, sending them off. Last moments with one of her sons. So that's real sad. But we see all the dragons fly off, and it was just really cool. I don't think we've gotten a scene with 3 dragons airborne this season, and I think that was like purposeful, because like I like took note of it when I saw 3 dragons in the air together, because I was like, oh,
that's familiar.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, this just took
3 down to 2 though. That's also familiar.
Yep, also familiar.
Damn. Oh, no, that was nice to see though. Again.
But yeah, they all head off in their separate directions, and Lucerys takes off into the gray clouds to head over to Storm's End, where I just assume, given its name, it's just always storming.
Yes, eternally.
Eternal storm. But upon his arrival, he is surprised to see another dragon already hanging out over there. And I was like, they went like horror movie sort of imagery with Vhagar this week.
Holy yeah. I mean, we got the idea that he was big before, but this episode was like,
oh my god,
the sky, like smart on them, like didn't have to CGI as much because a lot of it was just covered in the storm. I mean, I think that was like a budget decision, because like if they had to render out that much of Vhagar, like that big compared to just the super small Arax, is that
Arax? Yeah.
Yeah, like that. I think it was a smart decision to go to Storm's End for this one. But man, yeah, it added to that horror aspect. Definitely, it was awesome.
So fucking cool. But yeah, the way that Luke is like looking over his shoulder the whole way in, because it's right there, and he walks on in and learns that Aemon is already here, and he's standing next to Lord Boros Baratheon as Luke delivers the message from Rhaenyra. And Boros goes, "Where's the Maester?" And he hands him the note. The that guy reads it and then reports to Boros what it says. And he can't read, can he?
Nope.
No. No, he
Nope.
cannot read.
Nope. It was, I don't know. They didn't need to do that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was just hilarious. Like, that's just Game of Thrones comedy. Even though it's not funny, like, I don't know, like, on the surface. It's like, it's just hilarious that this dude just can't read. He's
that's the thing, is that,
leader
like, of the times, it makes sense for people not to be able to read if they're low-born. This guy is the ruler of Storm's End. He is the head of the House Baratheon. For him to not be able to read is funny. Like that's comedy.
He's sitting on their throne right now and cannot read a word of English.
Yeah. He's like, Maester! The Maester reads it to him and he's like, so what the fuck? You show up empty-handed. At least Aemon said he'd marry one of my daughters. Which one of my daughters will you marry, Luke? He's like, I am not free to marry. I'm already betrothed.
Loyal. Yeah, he's like, nah, sorry. Got my girl at home.
That. I got my boo. And I loved whenever they were standing at the table, at the war table, the way that the ladies walked up on the side of Lucerys and Jacaerys, and they they all kind of looked at each other like, hey, wifey, cousin, stepsister. But, this doesn't go Luke's way. He's, the Baratheons decide, yeah, we're probably going to have to turn you down, homie. Get to stepping, all right? And then Aemond calls out, Lord Strong. And Luke's like, oh, fucking A. What's this guy want? What's he on? And Aemon's like, I want one of your eyes, bro. And he's like, what the fuck? Still? I don't... Like, now? What the fuck, dude? What's your fucking problem, man? You're so intense all the time. Let's just chill. And Aemon rips off his eye patch, and we see that he's got a nice little sapphire stuffed into the eye socket. That looked fucking cool. The sapphire eye.
Yeah, that was cool, like, before not knowing what it was and seeing blue glow and being like, yo, is this like some Night King shit? Like, what the fuck? Why is he glowing blue? And then it's just like, nah, it's just, he's wealthy. You know, he's very wealthy, so obviously he's gonna stuff just a giant sapphire. Is it a sapphire? I don't know, but
they had to have pumped my man full of milk of the poppy, and then said,
it's gotta hurt. Yeah, it's gotta.
Man. Oh my god, I hate you.
Unless it's polished to like perfection, you know, it must be polished well in order not to hurt.
I guess, but yeah, he's pissed. He's pissed. Aemond is. He pulls out the knife. He's like, all right, I won't blind you, but get over here. I'm taking one of your eyes. And he starts charging him. And Lord Boros stands up, tells them, nah. Y'all are under my roof. What the fuck is this? The boy came as a messenger. All right, Aemond, chill the fuck out. This ain't war yet. How about you how about you chill the fuck out a little bit? All right. And Luke takes this opportunity to fucking bolt out of there, and he finds Arax, who is eager. This is another example, first example in this fight of the dragons reflecting the mood of their rider. The whole the way he ran at Luke a little bit, Arax did, the little stomps he was taking towards him and stuff, and the way Luke had to tell him, all right, we're good.
Calm down. Yeah, we're all right. Just obey. We got this. We're going to be okay.
We're going to get the fuck out of here, okay?
Kind of like calming himself down too, like at the same time. He's like, I'm scared as fuck too. Like,
yeah, me and Emily got it spoiled for her too separately. So we were kind of like, as the episode unfolded, we were like, we would tell each other when something we got spoiled happened. So we were like, that's a spoiler, that's a spoiler, that's a spoiler. And we got to a point, like, I had 3, she had 2. And right before the kids leave, I was like, so I noticed your last spoiler hasn't happened yet. And she was like, yeah, I noticed yours hasn't. And I was like, yeah, we have the same last spoiler.
Oh, dang.
And yeah, it was it like I was already sad for Luke throughout the episode, and it didn't even occur to me to feel sad for Arax. Like,
Yeah.
as soon as I saw this dragon like nervous and stuff, I was like, oh, this poor motherfucker.
Yeah, they have feelings too, man.
Yeah, for real.
Oh.
But yeah, Luke seems to be getting away. This storm is really slowing down the dragon that's built for speed. The winds are too strong, and although it's not very aerodynamic for Arax, and he seems to be getting away until Aemond flies over him on Vhagar, and you see just how small Arax is in comparison to Vhagar. This dragon barely spans this man's chest.
Yeah. It's not even close.
It's alarming. Like, it was like, oh my fucking gosh.
I mean, Vhagar's an old boy. That's an old boy.
That's an old boy. He grown.
Yeah. So, I mean, makes sense, but god damn.
But there's a lot of back and forth in this chase. You know, it becomes clear at some point that Aemond is kind of just fucking with Luke. He doesn't really have any intention to hurt him. He's just kind of like, this little prick. All those years you showed me the fucking pink dread and stuff. Now I get to fuck with you in a major way. And then Arax, he loses his cool a little bit, you know, goes rogue. Luke is telling him, no, Arax, no. And he goes ahead and tries to flame Vhagar, breathes a bunch of fire at this man, or this dragon. And this, in turn, pisses Vhagar off in a major way. Vhagar begins to take the reins. Aemond loses control of him at this point. Arax seemingly makes it out of the storm. He's in the clear now. And Vhagar swoops on up, and we get a perfect shot of Luke going right in that dragon's mouth.
Yeah.
The chomp down and severing the dragon's head. The body falls down. And that's all she wrote for Lucerys Velaryon.
Yeah, dude.
That was,
and Arax was chopped in so many pieces too. Like,
oh man.
Like, I mean, and I was waiting. I'm like, all right, is he just gonna be falling in the sky? You know, I'm like, is he somehow on Vhagar? Is he somehow on a piece of Arax still? And just nope. Yeah, no, he's in Vhagar's belly. I don't know. I did not see it coming at all. I did not see one of them dying.
I was jarred. And that's the thing, is that like I knew this was coming, and it still hit me. Like, oh my fucking god, no fucking way. And it's the way that Aemond is like, oh fuck, oh god damn, shit, fucking, oh god, I just started the war. I didn't even mean to.
Yeah, that's eesh. I mean, he kind of he just wanted his eye. He just wanted his eye for his mom. I guess, you know, he actually didn't want to start a war. Maybe he did, but
I mean, like, he had beef. He wanted to act on the beef. He just didn't want to act on the beef in this manner. I don't think he actually had interest in murdering his cousin.
Fair.
Or nephew, rather.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think he had any interest in such things. But
wow, what a line! God, what a line of relation.
There's a lot going on.
He's 16 years old too. in the show. That's amazing.
Yeah,
He's
it's
16
nuts.
years old.
That's nuts.
Um,
But this might have been some of the most effective acting I've ever seen in my life. Between Emma Darcy and Matt Smith in this last scene, where we don't hear a single fucking thing, we don't see a single fucking face, and I can tell exactly when Damon tells Rhaenyra what happened. I can tell the cycle of emotion she goes through without seeing her face. And then when she turns around and she is just like, I struggled to think of a more well acted scene like ever. Like, this shit was nuts to me because I was just like, I had like
it had everything.
I had chills watching this because you don't hear anything, you don't see their faces, and you know exactly what is being said when. It's
And you have the
incredible
fire
acting with
behind
the
her.
body language.
Fire burning behind her, the music just absolutely like swelling, like and that first like glimpse of her face where you get like sadness, rage, like everything, all it like
Yo, I was floored, and thus concluded the first season of House of the Dragon.
Who did Damon serenade? What dragon was that?
That was
he went off?
Vermithor in
Vermithor.
Dragonmont.
So Vermithor was with Silverwing. You think he just got Vermithor? Or like what? Like,
I don't know. That's a good question. I think I don't know. For now, I'm going just Vermithor.
I guess that's all we know. But I don't know, that scene was pretty cool. Like him coming out of the dark and
Singing
like
and
going in the eyeball
of
and seeing like dude, Damon like
that was my favorite shot. Was the switch of seeing the dragon's eye reflecting Damon and then Damon's eye reflecting the dragon, and it was like, oh yeah, these two are bonded. This dragon has.
Is that what that meant? Like, is that kind of like it was like Damon is now the rider of Vermithor? Like,
I think so.
So you could ride multiple dragons at once. Like,
I don't see any reason why not.
Fair. I don't know if you're like it's kind of like a Thor thing, you know, like kind of like Mjolnir being a little jealous of Storm, of like the other, like no, I always love you, like you're my origin. Like, I don't know, like if it's like that.
Maybe,
but man, yeah, they're stacking up. That's no longer a free agent then.
No, I believe
Vermithor is no longer
now firmly on Team Black. Which is very, very cool. I am left in a place with this episode that is really, really good. I think I'm going to have to, again, if we're going favorites, I think favorite character, I don't think there's another choice besides Rhaenyra for me this week. I think it had to be Rhaenyra. I think favorite performance has to be Emma Darcy as Rhaenyra.
Yeah, I gave it to her as well. There's without a doubt.
But
I gave it to Rhaenys for the character.
I thought about Rhaenys.
She's the one doing everything right now, man. I don't know. She's
making big moves. Moves.
No, she hasn't quite given up on the Iron Throne. She knows that she can rule without being on, without sitting there. I don't know. I don't think she goes up to Alicent and is like, have you ever imagined yourself on the Iron Throne? And then is making all these moves if she doesn't, still see it a little bit in herself that she has. She knows that she would have been a badass queen. And she is being a badass queen right now.
That's a fact. Nah, I fuck with that. I just had to go with Rhaenyra.
The scene is tough. I don't like. Is it the final ending? Just because of how well done it was, or do I pick?
I think I pick when Corlys declares I pick when Eric presents her the crown.
Oh, okay, good. I'm glad that's getting some recognition. How is this Eric's name spelled?
Erryk.
Eric presents
Cargill.
Rhaenyra with her crown. That was sick.
That was very
That
cool.
was sick.
That was
And then I
very
guess
cool.
I get ooh.
I almost
I
went
think
with Corliss declaring for Rhaenyra. Because that moment was just triumphant. It felt like, oh, fuck yeah.
okay. I didn't think okay. That's up there. It's either for me, it's either the very end, where no words were spoken, or it is that in the war room again with Corliss, and then looking back to Rhaenys. Yeah, okay, you're right. It's that.
Right.
Corliss declaring fealty?
Fealty.
Fealty. Yeah, that was sick. Fealty. 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 I swear there was an I in there. There's not. It's
I
an
don't know.
A.
Yeah, Fealty.
Wow. Did you look at that? Anyway. Okay. You have a line?
I'd probably have to go with the Damon line about stuffing
Same one.
that message in
It's
his
pretty
mouth
good.
with withered cock.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's hard to beat that one. Damon, I don't know. I see why he's the fan favorite.
I do
That
too.
makes sense.
He's a very fun character, but he's a dick, and I think that's the thing is that people need to separate their enjoyment of a character from expecting him to be a good guy. I love Damon's character. He is an absolute prick. And I don't mean that to say that I like who he is. I like what he brings to the table as a character. I think that shit is very compelling, and he adds to the story in such a meaningful and interesting way. Does not change the fact that he's been nothing short of a complete and utter prick.
Yeah. No, I agree. No, I don't know. I think it's in this any Game of Thrones show. You're not supposed to see any of these people as a role model. Really, like you shouldn't look up to really any of these people. I'd see maybe like Rhaenys, maybe Eric. A very select few, and really how much, like, I don't know. It's not much, that you can look up to as like a main character that you can, I don't know.
No, yeah, there's a lot of questionable decisions on all sides by everybody. But man, with that, are we ready to rate this episode and then thereafter rate this season?
I think so. I think it's time.
All right. So if you're joining us for the first time, it's an odd place to jump in, but, to each their own. We got 3 separate ratings that we take the average of, and it becomes our overall rating for the episode. First of which is enjoyment out of 10. That's just how much the episode was resonating with us on a personal level. Completely subjective. It's just however you're feeling. Second is genre. Just how well it fulfills that the fantasy Game of Thrones shit. Like what you come to expect of Game of Thrones, how does it fulfill that? And then critical. Everything that critically goes into making film. Acting, direction, writing, score, all these things considered and more. And we go real objective for that rating. We take the average, and it becomes our overall rating for the episode and thereafter the season when we get to that. But we got a little subjectivity in there, and that's just because it gives it our flair. It leaves the rating up to us instead of us just being like, oh, I don't know, it was solid. We can be like, oh, I loved it and it was good. I think that's important.
Enjoyment matters when you're watching a TV show. It doesn't have to be all perfect and made everything. If it was not enjoyable, then what's the point?
Exactly. So, on this episode, where are you sitting enjoyment-wise?
Whew. I mean, wow. I'm not exactly, I'm bawling my eyes out. I'm in shock. I don't know. What I don't feel like I was wanting more. Exactly what I kind of expected to happen happened, and at the same time, I was shocked. There was still, um, it happened in a way that I didn't think it would happen, I guess. So the cliffhanger or the big twist of the season, it got me. I was jaw dropped many times this episode. Shit. I mean, is it a 10? I don't know. I guess I'm hesitating a little bit. I don't know. Are you at a 10?
Well, here's the thing. I was kind of dependent on you to tell me whether or not it's a 10 because I got a lot of this spoiled for me. So I still really, really liked it. But the things that would have struck me and made this a 10 did not strike me because I was ready for them. Which blows. I think that,
Yeah.
I think that I find myself personally, I still loved the episode. I still thought it was great, and it was a great conclusion to the first season. I could go as low as I mean, I'm trying to evaluate it how I would have liked it if I didn't get it spoiled, and if I didn't get it spoiled, I think it would have been a 10. I do think that, but with it spoiled,
there wasn't a moment of downtime.
mm-mm. It was great scenes too, man. Like it was so effective.
I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, it's a 10.
All right, cool. I'm glad we could come to that. But genre-wise, I think we end up in a similar spot. It was a damn good Thrones episode. We got a coronation. We got a dragon murder.
2 Kingsguard having to swear fealty, with another dragon. A serenading of a dragon. The death of a dragon in a little boy.
Oh, tens.
You think Aemon sticks around with that girl long?
No,
I think he's taken after Daemon a little bit.
I think so as well. I think so as well.
But okay, we got 2 10s so far. That only happened episode 5. That's only happened with episode 5 and 8 so far.
Damn good episode.
Okay.
Now, critically, I think it was really, really well shot. I think it was pretty well written. I don't feel as complete in a singular episode as I typically do with House of the Dragon. This cliffhanger was a hardcore cliffhanger. I guess you could say it was on the brink, like we were on the brink of war at the beginning, and now we are heading into war at the end. I guess that could be the through line here. But I
guess. Yeah, what was the most complete arc of the episode, if there was one?
Probably Rhaenys starting the episode not necessarily
fair.
On a side, and by the end being on Rhaenyra's. Maybe Rhaenyra's starting the episode not being interested in war, and then by the end having come full circle and being like, "Yep, it's time." It was extremely well acted. It looked pretty. My only hang up is some of the writing. I do think that Daemon's character was handled interestingly, because I'm always a fan of show don't tell. But they barely showed. You know what I'm saying? They didn't tell us shit either. So like it was like usually Matt Smith's performance gives me a nice little window into how Damon is feeling about any given thing. But even then, I was still like, I don't even know exactly what he's feeling this week. And so that was interestingly handled, I thought.
I think okay. It's not a 10, I don't think.
No.
Is it what's the floor, I guess? Like,
I mean, for me personally, the absolute floor is an 8.75.
yeah. Because I was like hovering around a 9. I'm like, does it break? Does it go lower than a 9? Because then there's only one episode that's below a 9 critically, and that's episode 2. I would give it an 8.
My thing is that, like, the gripes I have with this episode, I haven't had with any other episode. Like, that's I feel like that accounts for something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never felt like a character was not lacklusterly written, but kind of unclear in his in what
True.
he is and what he's feeling and stuff. I think a 9 is fair, though. I think a 9 straight up is fair. It was still super good looking. The acting was phenomenal. The score was brilliant. The editing fucked. Like, it was really, really well edited. It's just that writing wise, it's a detriment a little bit, just a little bit.
See, if we give it a 9, it averages it out to a 9.67, which barely puts it above last episode. At a 9.63 last episode, so that puts it at 4th place. Yeah, 4th place, and then 6th place is a 3-way tie.
Yeah.
Which is funny, but okay, wow. So I mean, I feel like that. Yeah, it was in the top half of the season.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, with that, yeah, that's very, very true. That makes sense. Because I didn't know if I was too high on it, just because it was the season finale, and like we're not getting any more Thrones for another year and a half. It's going to be a little bit.
Yeah, a year and a half at the least,
minimum. Probably. Yeah, so I mean, no, I think no, that makes sense. It's definitely in the top half of the season, and I think I do put it a little bit above last episode. Because last episode it was really just like it was the chaotic. It was so chaotic in what was happening, and it was the crazy claim to power. But then this episode was the more
I can
slowed.
Say honestly that I liked this episode more, but I do think critically that last episode was better.
Yeah, and then that shows. We gave it a 9.75 last episode compared to our 9 this episode. So.
I think I liked this episode more simply because I like the characters who are in it more.
Yeah,
but
like the only character to be in both episodes was Otto, and Rhaenys, I guess. Oh, true. Yeah. But I mean, it was truly like episode 9 was the Hightower episode. Episode 10 was the Targaryen episode, the Rhaenyra, the other side. Which was a really cool way to do it. Instead of like interconnecting the stories, it was really cool to be like, yo, this happened all within you like coming back and not realizing what's happening. Like this.
Well, it's like they're like sister episodes. You could watch them back to back and it would probably be seamless.
Ooh, that's gonna be really cool.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool. But shit, man, are you ready to give an overall rating to the season after that episode came to a 97?
Yeah.
On our rating, 96 or 9.67, so 96.7.
Let's do it.
All right, so same criteria. Enjoyment wise, how you feel about the season?
As far as seasons of television go, I mean, floor is like a 9. I feel.
Yeah. My
Like,
gut,
it's either 9.75 or 10.
my gut went 9.75. I got an interesting question just because, it's the last two shows we've covered completely. Do you feel you had a better time watching this week to week or Westworld season 4 week to week?
Dude, honestly?
I'm in the same place. You ain't even gotta fucking say it.
I know. Like, that's, wow. That's kind of nuts.
Yeah, Westworld season 4 was just that fucking strong.
Westworld season 4 kept the intensity the entire time. Like, it was just, I don't know. Okay. Because we gave that a 5, a 10 now. And I do think it is about like a little bit.
No, don't get me wrong. I fucking loved both seasons of television. I don't want to be like, oh, it blew it out of the water. No, nothing like that. Like it's and I would even go as far as to say, again, kind of in that same realm as the way I was talking about episodes 9 and 10. I think I enjoyed Westworld season 4 more, but I do think House of the Dragon season 1 was probably a better season of television, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that okay. There's a couple different things at play there. The fourth season of a show I've been watching for years compared to a brand new season of television. It makes sense. It's not like it's that big of a stretch, But yeah, I think 9.75 is fair. I think that's ultimately where I kind of shake out here. I really, really enjoyed it. One of my favorite seasons of television in recent memory. But I don't think I can confidently go, oh, I loved every minute of it.
Oh, I switched these. That's why I was a little confused. Usually I had it in the order of critical enjoyment genre, but we always do it in enjoyment genre critical.
Yeah.
And I switched it, actually to put it in order. Because I'm like, no way we gave these 4 episodes a 10 out of 10 critically. Like, yeah, this is critically. Yes. Okay. Sorry. I think we got it now. Yeah, we've only given episodes 5 and 8 a 10 out of 10 critically.
Yeah, and I stand by that.
5 and 8. Okay. Yeah. 5 and 8. Okay. Now my bearings are back.
They're about to.
So there we go. Well, okay.
You will have to switch the second enjoyment.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yes. All right, cool. But genre-wise, this is one where I think this was a great season of fantasy television. I don't know that we've gotten something so grand. Basically, I mean, we never got a season of Game of Thrones this grand. That was
no.
This massive.
Dude, it was like it was insane to be like, we got a dragon this episode. Like back in Game of Thrones like era a little bit sometime. It was like we got a dragon this episode. It was sick. They actually spent the money and did it. We got it and it was beautiful. But now it's like it's just kind of common.
Yeah.
To like see them pop up now, which is sick. And that
we're seeing the dragons in this show more than we saw the dire wolves in Game of Thrones, which is
true. Man, apparently those were more expensive than the dragons somehow, which is insane.
That's crazy. It's crazy.
But no, this as far as fantasy television goes, man, let's see it. How do you rank it as far as like compared to every season of Game of Thrones?
And
I guess the easiest comparison is season 1 to season 1.
Yeah, and I'm left in a place that's it's Game of Thrones. It was a great season of Game of Thrones. It's hard to say that. I don't know. It'd probably be far from my favorite season of Game of Thrones ever. It's damn good. and it's epic. I do think that this is the spirit of Game of Thrones is as present in this as it is in any other season of Game of Thrones. So like as far as the genre rating is concerned, you know, I don't think it's so much about is it better than any of those. It's more just did it do what it needed to do in being Game of Thrones, and I think it did. I think I do find myself again probably around a 9.75 or 10 for the genre rating for this show.
You know, I guess really what this season is just to build the world of this time and get us connected to the characters so that when they do go to war and everything goes to shit, you're like actually connected to them. And that's what season 1 of Game of Thrones is too, is like just world building and getting to know every character. And
what's crazy is we covered 25 years of story here.
Dang.
In season 1. And now we're going to be left in a place where like we covered 25 years of story and we only stayed within the same like week for 8, 9, and 10.
Yeah, you're right.
Like,
Dang.
and from now on, that's what this show will be, which is fucking satisfying. So like, it's amongst the most unique seasons of Game of Thrones ever for that reason. And I think they did it very, very effectively. I struggle to go below a 9.75 if it's
I feel like
10.
I feel like that's where it is. If there is some form of hesitation, it really can't be a 10. If it's a 10, you know it's a 10.
Right.
Like it has to be. But that is, I think that's where the 9.75 is reserved for. Is like it's right there. If not, it could be, but since there is some hesitation, I feel like 9.75 is fair. Yeah, no way it's going any lower than that. But now this is interesting here critically. Like, is the decision to make these time jumps beneficial for them? You know, in this crit, like, did it work well for them? Do you think? Like, did because now it's the whole season as a whole. We have to think back to episode 1 and having the young, you know, actors switch to the older ones.
It worked as well as it could have. For the characters that were here the whole time, I think it worked well for Rhaenyra, Alicent. I think it worked well for Viserys. I think it worked well for Rhaenys and Corlys. Like the character Daemon, I think the characters that were in the first episode and the characters that are in the last episode or the last few, it worked for them. I do think it was a detriment to the characters that weren't them. Like the kids who are going to be the crux of this conflict. I care about them, but only because I care about their parents. You know, I like Luke dies, and the reason it hurts that Luke dies is because Rhaenyra is going to be in pain. You know, like it's not like the father of their children dies, and that hurts because it's going to hurt Rhaenyra, not because you didn't want to see Harwin die.
I guess how much can they really do to get us connected with the kids, though? Like, you give them, like, they are children in real life, too. So it's not like they're going to give you a performance that Emma Darcy or Olivia
and
Cook
that's
or,
the
like,
thing
you know,
is that I don't have any,
but,
like, I think they handled it about as well as they could, but I think that was the problem with the structure.
I see.
It limited,
you're right.
It limited their ability for us to get attached to the kids, you know? Like, I think, after season 1 of Game of Thrones, were you not down for Arya Stark?
You're right.
Like,
you're right.
Like, that's the sort of thing that I think this show lost a little bit of, is just that it's the characters that were the primary focus, they got what they needed, and I think they did that really well.
And I gotta put myself in a, like, just a casual viewer's shoes, and I'm gonna be honest, like, I'm watching the show super closely, and I still don't remember everyone's name, and sometimes I have to think of who's parents, and like who the fuck is who when I'm on screen sometimes. Like, obviously, like, the main character, Daemon, Rhaenyra, Viserys. You know, the main people, I think people get by with. Even if they don't remember their name, you know what is attached to all of them, basically, you know. But, like, honestly, like, there's a lot of stuff that's hard to pick up on. Like,
well, and, like, think to season 1 of Game of Thrones. And think to season 1 of this show. I think the primary difference is like both seasons handled their main characters incredibly well. It's all the other pieces that Game of Thrones season 1 just kind of elevates on. You know, like we have a character like Larys Strong, right? And that character's interesting and he's wild to watch and stuff. But like think about the amount of people Game of Thrones season 1 had that you were like interested in seeing on screen. Like at any given point, Cersei, Jaime, Tyrion, Tywin in this corner, the Starks had Robb, Catelyn, Jon, Sansa, Arya, fucking Theon even was out there with them. Fucking Robert Baratheon, Renly Baratheon, Stannis Baratheon, like
damn, yeah.
That show just had a reach that this show didn't quite get to achieve, and like again, it is because of that the choice to make this a very very long spanning season, and like
and I guess it's really just focused on like the Red Key, like King's Landing, it's only focused on the highest level of the story. Like, you know, it's like, it's the history, it's what happened. It's not focused on the inner workings of the politics of, like, you know, the actual city and having to please the people, whatever, you know, like, or I don't know, with more of like Game of Thrones-y politics, I guess. It's really just like, it's a battle for the throne and people are setting up for it. You know, it's very contained, even though it's across, you know, large span of area, but I don't know, it's still very contained.
Yeah, no, so like I find myself like, and I don't mean any of this to say that it was a bad season. Like, it obviously wasn't a bad season of television. It was fantastic, and I just think that their formatting, their structure of the show might have limited it a little bit. But even within that structure, I think they dominated this shit. You know, like the characters I was attached to, I am attached to. You know, I love Rhaenyra. Like that's a character I'm immensely a fan of. I love Alicent. You know, like a character that has been hateable as fuck. I really really like that character. You know,
it had some of the best editing, like in any television,
brilliant.
like that I've seen.
Good looking. It was really well written. The visual effects were fucking breathtaking. The score was fantastic. I'm still really really high on this season. You know, we're comparing it to Game of Thrones season 1, which is arguably a 10 out of 10 season of television. So like, it's like a lot of shit is worse than Game of Thrones season 1. I think I find myself at around a 9.5.
Okay. I think that's fair.
I could see me going as low as a 9, and I could see me going as high as a 9.75. Just kind of depends on what you're feeling about it.
I don't think. Yeah, I think 9.5 is fair here. It's not on the same scale. Like, I know it's such a minute difference between a 9.5 and a 9.75, but like, I mean, that's still a 9 point. That's a 95% crit. Like, that's phenomenal.
It's a fucking
like
great.
It's phenomenal. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I think 9.5 is more. I can't go 9.25.
All right, and that brings the season overall to the same score as the final episode at a 9.67 out of 10. I wonder what the
let's see.
The math would point us to. We obviously did that all on the spot, but I would be interested in seeing what the ratings of our average enjoyments, average genres, average critical, and our overall averages would end up coming to.
The average is a 9.45.
All right.
The average critical is a 9.3.
Okay.
The average genre is a 9.45. And the average enjoyment is a 9.55. So
we were
all around 9.5-ish, 9.4, really. Kind of the average for all of them. That's what it seems.
Interesting. So we we reflected on it kinder than our averages would have led us to believe, and that's a sign of a good season of television, frankly.
IMDb season it already had 1,000 more reviews. I hit refresh. That's insane. 15,000 reviews so far, so quite a lot. I think it's around 12,000 every time we do it, so it's around the same. But 9.4 for this episode.
Okay.
And I guess is the whole season rated now? Possibly
yes, it should be
8.6.
So we were immensely kind compared to this as an overall season of television.
Yes.
On IMDb.
Not by too much, I guess. Only 7% kinder critically, if we were to go off critically, off our averages, but we gave it a 9.5.
And Rotten Tomatoes has it at an 85% critically, 84% audience-wise.
Wow.
So,
okay,
we're fans of Game of Thrones.
Sure.
We like the shit. So, yeah, shit, man. With that, I think we conclude this season of Fire and Bloom, a House of the Dragon podcast.
It's in the books, man.
The Game of Thrones content does not stop here. Winter is Blooming begins next week. A Game of Thrones rewatch podcast week after week. For the next 10 weeks, we're going to be covering season 1. For the next 73 weeks, we'll be covering the show, the entire fucking thing. So y'all need to come back week after week. I know y'all don't want Game of Thrones to stop for you, so keep coming back here. Keep watching Game of Thrones with us, and it's gonna be fucking fun. Winter is Blooming, a Game of Thrones rewatch podcast, begins next Monday. With that, if you would, head to patreon.com/CoroBloom. That's COROBLOOM, where you'll find over 50 hours of exclusive content, including all sorts of book reviews and comic book poll lists and movie reviews. It's all that money goes back into making sure I can put this podcast on. It costs money, and I don't make any off of it unless it's over there. So that's a great help. So please head over there. Head to Twitter, follow @PennyBloomPod. Follow on Instagram @PennyBloomPodcast. If you're fucking with me and Joe, remember to follow along with us on Wednesdays for the Andor after party. We're covering Star Wars Andor currently. A few weeks left in that. Come back week after week every Monday for Winter is Blooming, the Game of Thrones rewatch podcast beginning next week. And every Friday we continue our 52-year journey through film. And this week brings us to 2013's Wolf of Wall Street. So very, very good week for us podcast-wise. Keep tuning in here. I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it is always a pleasure to have you. And what a fun time it was covering another new show week after week, and another satisfying conclusion. I think that brings us to 11 shows covered and concluded. Week after week, which is a lot. It's a lot of television we talk about. But yeah, Fire and Bloom, done for now. We'll see you for season 2. Remember, peace, love, and bloom. And Fire and Bloom will return.